Hi, welcome to Transitions. I'm your host, Antoinette Zloty. There are so many different organizations out there that are trying to reach out to youth and families. And today, I really welcome you as our viewers to listen to a conversation that I'm going to be having with the CEO and founder of Inspire Community Outreach. Her name is Angela Taylor. Welcome, Angela, to Transitions.
Thank you.
Could you tell us a little bit of how you got started?
Absolutely. I started Inspire Community Outreach almost 10 years ago. And just like most organizations, there's always a good story. I was a young mom and really wanting to give back and help community members and families like mine. I lost my mom when I was 18 years old, and I was raising my sister who was 1, and we lost our mom to suicide. And so mental health was always really important to me, and being in social services now for 24 years and loving community, I listened to all of the gaps of service. There's lots of really great things happening in social services and lots of services that are a great fit. And there are always gaps too for families that include children with disabilities, including mental health concerns. And so originally I started Inspire to raise money for other charities that were doing really amazing work. And I did a fundraiser and I collected some funds and I said, who wants to have this money to prevent suicide in teenagers? And everybody said, that's a great cause. We don't do that. And so I thought, well, how hard could it be to start a charity? And so I started doing once a month programming, and then once a week programming, and then programs with schools and programs with organizations alongside youth as the leaders, because they have the answers if we listen. And slowly we expanded to have programming for families and education for families, and again, listening to families and parents because they have the answers. And now, almost 10 years later, we are supporting a provincial stabilization of amazing families having really difficult times. And we do training all over Canada and beyond, into the States, into Australia. And so how it started isn't how we are now. But how we are now, I'm very proud of my team, and I'm very proud of community for speaking to us about what they need and how they need it, and trusting us to be advocates and trusting us to be allies as we love community with them.
So that's very interesting because given my background in social work, it's always nice to hear of new developments, new programs, and so on. But can you take us through, like, if you got a referral, and what would that person who is being referred to you, give us an example of what might happen in the process, like from assessment right through to discharge? Because I imagine that some people come in and go out, right? You don't keep everybody on a caseload, if that's the term that you use in the organization. So tell us about a scenario, let's say.
Sure.
Yeah.
You're right. Not everybody stays with us for a long time.
Yeah.
Sometimes families get to work with us and we have the opportunity to work with them only, they only need a short time.
Yeah.
And then we're so thankful and so happy to transition them to have other organization support or to have new tools to be on their own and be, their magnificent selves. A lot of the families that we do work with us for a long period of time, sometimes a year or more. And so if you imagine, a young family, a family that maybe has a youth that's 8 or 12, those are kind of common ages. Okay. Children who either have a diagnosed or undiagnosed disability like ADHD, autism, FASD, some type of trauma. I specialize in complex neurology, so brain wiring differences. Mm-hmm. And so all of these beautiful children that come to us, they have some type of brain wiring sensitivity or difference, mental health concern. And so These families have often been looking for service for 3 years, 6 years, 12 years. And they don't need a referral to come to us, but they often do get referred by some of our partnering agencies. We have dozens of them. They don't need a diagnosis, and we don't have a wait list. So they find us. We're so thankful to find them. And they register usually on our website, inspirecommunityoutreach.ca. And sometimes they'll find us through their school, or they'll find us through our book, All Kinds of Minds. But they find us and they register, and within a couple of days, we will contact them by email and confirm the registration, saying, we would like to meet with you either by phone or by Zoom, online, or you can come and meet us at the office if they have questions. And we connect them with one of our team members. So we have a multidisciplinary team. So we have actually a psychiatric nurse, we have social work, we've got psychotherapists, and really great skills. And so we match them. And so the initial process is gathering information, the assessment, kind of what's happening in their life, what's going great, because these are amazing people, resilient, strong people with tons of strengths. That's how they got where they are. But everybody, no matter how strong you are, there's going to be pain points. And so we listen to those too. What's going hard? And we focus there. And we found that if we focus on the 1 or 2 really hard things in their life and support them through that to have the skills they need and resources, that we can take maybe a 10 out of 10 scale of stress and lower that as quickly as possible. And we make a bit of a plan with them. Sometimes they do need to be connected to other organizations and they just didn't know they existed. And sometimes they need programming that doesn't exist yet. And in that case, sometimes we create those programs with them.
So if you have a client who is 8 or 9, you're talking about doing the connection through the family, like through the parents or the guardian and so on. And in the school system now, do you find that there's a support network, enough of a support network within the schools right now for the kids?
Schools are some of my favorite people. I love educators of all ranges. My current degree is also in education. As I complete my PhD, most of my colleagues are in education. And I have found that from their perspective and my perspective, that the magic that happens in education in schools is because of the educators. Sometimes even though the system doesn't support families and children and education the way that we all would love. And so sometimes I can provide information to educators, including about neurology, about stabilization, about the child's neurology, whatever, and then that's enough. We always want to provide just enough to help people have what they need. So my experience in working with education is that it's very difficult for them to support these children. What we have is 5% of these children requiring 80% of the resources, not because these children are magnificent and amazing and glorious and, in my opinion, the best people out there, but because the system isn't made for these children. And so the team that we have at Inspire, we do go into schools, we do education. I trained almost 1,000 educators in November alone, because if they had the information that they needed, they would use it. But we know as social workers that research is not always usable. It's hard to find, especially about this population. And it's my passion. This population, these children are my passion because I was that kid with that complex brain,
So because you're mostly with youth, and the population as defined by youth is up to about age 30, would you say though that most of the clientele then are still in the school system? Most of them.
The
right?
majority.
The majority, because the adult mental health system is a system that, like the 18 to 30,
Yes.
may actually be channeled through a little bit more, right?
That's right.
So I'm just thinking about, again, exiting, outreach.
Yes.
I just wonder how much there is after that, though. After working, or you're working with people and your staff are working with the families and so on. And the other thing too that I'm wondering about, I was very impressed hearing that resources were actually being, I think, did you come up with this idea about resources going into the family instead of taking the child out of the family when the child has a really severe behavioral issue?
Yeah.
And the resources that might even stay with the family overnight. Was that you that was involved in that, or a lot of people who got together and came up with that? It's a very great, I think, concept.
Yeah.
What's it called again?
Oh, we have
What?
we have
There's
an in-home support unit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in-home support.
It used to be called the in-home family stabilization unit, and the families were like, "That's a terrible name," and we were like, "We agree,
Yeah.
that is a terrible name."
Yeah.
So what we have is this multidisciplinary, amazing helpers,
Yeah.
wellness workers that they will take the child into the community for a break for the parents. We will go into the family home and care about that family. We will share information about the brain, about practical solutions. That might mean, if that child has a challenge with transitions between waking up in the morning and getting to school,
Yeah.
which is a really hard time of day. I don't know anybody who really loves mornings all that much. Maybe making a visual schedule, making, just so that a child that has ADHD or autism, mornings are quite difficult. And if you plan music and something very delicious in the morning, and all these practical small things make a really big difference.
So, because it's my understanding that the whole idea is to reverse so that the kids don't have to transition into foster home, go away from home, then have to come back and transition back to home.
Yeah.
But are they families that, even though it might be a good idea, are they times when you go, oh, that would have been just so perfect, but you couldn't find the right cultural match for them? Because I would assume that you're looking at diversity and trying to get people culturally connected. So is that an area or a gap right now that you're seeing in your service delivery?
It's always been a gap.
Uh-huh.
In terms of Canada and the beauty and the diversity within Canada, we want families to feel like it's the best match, that it's the most meaningful. And sometimes, that cultural piece, the right match is very difficult to find. And we'd still do our best, right, to hear what that family is asking for, and even the role of social worker versus a psych nurse versus a psychotherapist. Then there's so many pieces of personality and culture and background and training that need to match really well, so that family feels heard and a sense of belonging and accepted, because we want that child to be with those parents.
And culture can sort of have a reverse, effect, in that some people actually prefer not to be matched with people of their own culture because of the stigma associated with mental health issues and having a child who has needs that are over and above what other kids have. And so they may want to hide that from other people in their cultural group. So that is certainly a challenge. I think that the work that we did, that was led by the Barbados Association of Winnipeg and that the African Community Organizations of Manitoba, CCOM, which is the Canadian Caribbean Community Organizations of Manitoba, Jamaican Association, as well as the Women's Health Clinic. A number of us really did, I think, a really good job on putting together a mental health promotion toolkit for Black Canadians. And certainly mental health isn't owned by any one particular group, but I think that the fact that we worked on that, I think really does help other people like us see the value of it and to understand that we're still interested in them. Even though they have a person in the family who have mental health issues, try to see about access, learn about projects or learn about agencies such as yours, and get out there and get more educated about mental health, use the resources, and try to access the resources. So I'm hoping that there's going to be more of that and more cultural groups, like the cultural groups that we reached out to, and more of them engaged by governments
Yes.
in delivery as well of resources, and delivery in partnership with resources like yours, let's say. And so you are doing some work with your staff. How much staff, how many people do you have in your staff?
We've got 12 part-time staff.
12 part-time. And so are you looking to recruit people from various
We are.
ethnic
We are.
groups? Yeah. So the thing is about this mental health promotion toolkit that we were developing through and we have developed actually through the Barbados Association in conjunction with all these other organizations, is that it is available online and people can go and access it. But have you found that collaboration is a really good thing as well?
Absolutely. Accessibility and collaboration and sharing resources, because there's not enough resources to go around in terms of mental health and social services. And every organization has unique skill and value and brilliance. And if we come together, we can brainstorm a lot of solutions because we're listening to the voice of community and creating an action plan with that. And I love things being online. I love someone within their home, wherever they are in their journey of wellness and planning for their wellness, that they can just have it a click, download, read it when they're ready, how they're ready. Collaboration is one of the biggest passions of my life, other than neurodiversity, because I found that, you know, the things that I'm good at is like this big. And I can meet other colleagues along the way that have their own unique lens. And then together we can make a toolkit. Together we can make a resource. And the charity Inspire, we have, I think, over 24 partnerships just for that reason.
That's
Yeah.
excellent.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll have to get you linked to the Barbados Association. But
Wonderful.
one of the things that has been with me a long time is being a mom, and
Yes.
being a mom to now 2 adult children with their own careers and so on, and their own partners. But how about you? I'd like to actually invite Rachel to join us,
Yes.
because I want to hear a little bit from her and about a little bit from you of how you juggle motherhood and also CEO of this organization that you've started.
Thank you.
So
Welcome here, my girl. Good work.
So nice to see you here with us. And It's very nice of your mom to join us this evening, and you're sharing her with us, and we'll like to hear a little bit from you as well. I found that when my kids were this age, I was running a lot to, take them to lessons, if it was like ballet or we tried the piano and what have you. All these different things that you give your children opportunities for or to do. So how about you, Rachel? Are you involved in any activities at all outside of school? Are you taking any lessons?
I think my dad signed me up for swimming, but
Good.
other than that, no, I don't think so.
So, well, swimming is a very good life skill, and actually, it's a very good activity for families to do together as well. So, yeah, that's a really good good choice there.
And she's in hockey, right?
Oh, you're playing hockey too. Oh,
Yes.
good.
Yes.
Yeah, I had it tonight, but I wanted to skip it.
Oh, you wanted to be with your mom. Oh, that's really good. That's good, though, that you wanted to be with your mom. So, what about scheduling and so on? Do you find that you have to have people after hours to pick the kids up, or are you able to, as CEO, balance that really well and still spend quality time with them?
Well, the kids come first, and also it is really tricky. I'm really thankful because I do have my children half time, and the other half the time they're with their dad. And so that balance has been, over the last few years, has been a significant change. And so being able to attend hockey and and watch her, and all my kids are in different things. They're in swimming, they're in hockey, they're in volleyball, and so being able to attend 3-4 times a week as a bystander and a supporter has been one of the joys of my life. And also bringing my kids to different events. We have different festivals at Inspire Community Outreach. We had a lot before the last few years, and then we're having a lot of in-person events again now. And help planning, help creating different activities that we do for children and youth at the events. And then just being able to share that time, celebrating community together with my children has been really enjoyable.
So let me ask Rachel, the festivals was the best and the best thing to do at the festival. What did you enjoy the most about them?
That there was 2 Halloween parties.
Oh, yes.
Oh, nice. So what were you dressed up as?
I was dressed up as JoJo Siwa.
Mm-hmm. So where are the festivals held?
They're often at community parks. We have the Family Mental Wellness Festival every year at Assiniboine Park, and we are having that again this July. And again, through partnership, through collaboration, bringing other organizations to share their skill and their connections to loving the community. And partnering actually with a lot of organizations for Halloween, for example. We had 2 Halloween parties. One was at St. Vital Park, and the other one was at Scout, which is a local coffee shop that we love. And so those partnering events, they act as fundraisers to fund different programs to support children and families all through the province.
That's
Because
wonderful.
not being funded, fundraisers are how we create funds to hire clinicians and staff to create these meaningful contributions to support the mental health of children.
Well, I really think that you should be very proud of your mom. And you probably are, aren't you? And someday, whatever field that you go into, I'm sure having a great role model like her there, showing how responsible she is and how caring she is, because we do need people in the community to care about others. And actually, I will say that maybe at some point in time, Transitions might show up at one of these festivals with a camera and take some video. But for now, I think that we're going to have to say goodbye to our viewers, and we really thank them very much for joining us, and we'd like them to go on YouTube and check out Transitions on Shaw Spotlight and see some of the episodes that they may have missed. So again, I'm very pleased that you're both here, and you have just a wonderful summer coming up, and you have also all the success in your accomplishing your doctorate and working on that. That is a wonderful thing to be a working mom and be able to do all that. That's wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Oh, you're very welcome.